Okay, Pi Pioneers, let's cut through the BS for a minute. I see you in the comments, I read your messages, and I know exactly what you're thinking right now. Another Pi 2-day, another disappointment. You've been holding Pi for what feels like forever, watching Bitcoin hit new highs, seeing meme coins pump overnight, while your Pi balance just sits there doing absolutely nothing. And now they're asking you to get excited about June 28th again? Here's the thing though. I've spent the last 2 weeks digging through every hint, every developer update, every cryptic tweet from the Pi team, and what I found actually shocked me. This Pi 2-day feels different, and I'm not just saying that to get views. There are real signals pointing to major announcements about AI integration, KYC solutions for millions of locked-out users, and yes, even movement on exchange listings. But before you roll your eyes and click away, let me be crystal clear, I'm not here to blow sunshine up your ass. I'm going to tell you exactly what I've discovered, the good and the potentially disappointing parts. Make sure you're following my Telegram and Facebook pages in the description because tomorrow's going to be intense and I'll be breaking down every announcement in real time. If you're tired of the same old Pi hype videos and want someone who will tell you the truth, hit that like button. And hey, subscribe if you want coverage that actually respects your intelligence instead of just screaming about moon prices. Okay, let's talk numbers. Pi just jumped 14% and is sitting around 62 cents. Now, before you get too excited, remember we've seen these pumps before. But here's what's different this time. The timing is suspicious, and I mean that in a good way. You see, ever since the mainnet launched in February, we've had over 13 million users migrate successfully. That sounds impressive until you realize there are still millions of people locked out because of KYC issues. I've been getting messages from pioneers in China, Nigeria, Philippines, saying they're still stuck in verification hell. It's been frustrating as hell for these communities, but here's where it gets interesting. Word is spreading that tomorrow's Pi 2-day might announce the second wave of KYC approvals. We're talking about potentially unlocking access for 20 to 30 million users who've been waiting on the sidelines. Now, I don't know about you, but when I see a 14% price jump right before an announcement that could double or triple the active user base, my spider senses start tingling. Look, I get it. You've been burned before by crypto promises, but the difference here is we're not talking about some vague roadmap promise. The infrastructure is already there, the mainnet is running, and people are actually using Pi for real transactions. The question isn't whether Pi works, it's whether they can scale it fast enough to meet demand. Now about this AI integration everyone's buzzing about. Pi's team posted this cryptic message asking how does AI relate to Pi, with the answer coming on Pi 2-day. Look, I've seen enough crypto projects throw around AI buzzwords to make my eyes roll, but this feels different. Nicholas Kokkalis, one of Pi's co-founders, showed up at a major AI conference recently talking about AI that actually respects user data and compensates people fairly. That's not your typical AI will solve everything pitch. That's someone who's actually thought about the problems with current AI systems. Here's what's got me intrigued. Imagine if Pi could use AI to speed up that KYC nightmare everyone's dealing with. Or what if they built AI tools that help you find businesses in your area that accept Pi? Hell, what if they created AI that helps developers build better apps on the Pi platform? These aren't moonshot ideas, they're practical solutions to real problems the network faces. But let's be honest, AI integration could also be a complete flop if they try to do too much too fast. The key is whether they focus on solving actual user problems or just slapping AI labels on everything to sound trendy. Tomorrow we'll find out which direction they're heading. Alright, let's address the elephant in the room, exchange listings. I know this is what half of you are really waiting for, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Pi still isn't on the major exchanges, and that's been one of the biggest frustrations for the community. But here's what I've noticed lately. Pi launched that $100 million venture fund. They had over 125,000 merchants accepting Pi payments during Pi Fest. And now they're seeing real trading volume on smaller exchanges. These aren't accidents. They're building the case that major exchanges want to see before they'll consider a listing. The thing is, exchanges like Binance don't just list tokens because communities ask nicely. They want to see real utility, consistent trading volume, and proof that people will actually use the token for more than just speculation. Pi's been methodically checking those boxes even if it's taken longer than we all hoped. Will tomorrow's Pi 2-day announce a major exchange listing? Honestly, probably not, but it might give us more clarity on their strategy and timeline, and sometimes, knowing the plan is almost as valuable as the announcement itself. Let's talk about what all this means for you as a Pi holder. The Pi domain system launched with over 57,000 people bidding on names. That might sound like a fun side project, but think about what it really represents. Pi is building its own internet ecosystem where Pi tokens are the native currency. Imagine running your business on a Pi domain, accepting Pi payments, using Pi-powered AI tools, and never having to deal with traditional banking fees or delays. That's not some fantasy future, the pieces are already being put in place. But here's the reality check you need to hear. Even if tomorrow's announcements are everything we hope for, Pi Network still faces massive challenges. Scaling to handle millions of new users isn't easy. Competing with established payment systems takes time. And yes, the price might not immediately reflect the progress being made. The question you need to ask yourself isn't whether Pi will make you rich overnight. It's whether you believe in the vision of a more accessible, user-owned financial system. Because that's what this is really about. So what should you actually expect from Pi Today 2025? Based on the hints and patterns I've seen, here's what I'm watching for. Concrete details about KYC expansion, actual AI feature demonstrations, partnerships with real companies, and updates on developer tools. Don't expect them to announce a Binance listing or claim Pi will hit $10 next month. Do expect them to show progress on the boring but important stuff that actually makes Pi useful for regular people. If you're holding Pi, tomorrow's announcements will help you decide whether to stay patient or consider other options. If you're thinking about getting involved, this might be your chance to see whether Pi is building something real or just riding the hype train. Either way, don't make any major financial decisions based on tomorrow's announcements alone. Do your own research, understand the risks, and never invest more than you can afford to lose. I know that sounds like standard crypto advice, but it's standard for a reason. Look, I don't know if tomorrow's Pi 2 Day will be the game changer we're all hoping for, but I do know this: Pi Network has come further than most people expected, and they're tackling real problems in ways that actually make sense. Whether you're a longtime pioneer who's been mining since day one or someone who's been watching from the sidelines, tomorrow's going to give us a clearer picture of where this whole thing is heading. Drop a comment and let me know what you're most curious about for tomorrow's announcements. Are you hoping for KYC news, excited about the AI possibilities, or just want to see some concrete progress on exchange listings? Make sure you're subscribed because I'll be covering every major announcement as it happens. And don't forget to check out my Telegram and Facebook for real-time updates throughout Pi 2 Day. Whatever happens tomorrow, we'll figure it out together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the other side of Pi 2 Day 2025. Stick around for my breakdown of what Pi 2 Day could mean for other crypto projects, and check out my Pi Network playlist for the complete story of this wild journey we're all on.